Hello there, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and yes, the evil class is on screen today because, well, submarines have gone through quite a number of changes here in the past few updates. And truth be told, in most cases, it's made life quite hard for 95% of submarines, especially with the 3 kilometer arming nerf, right? You can no longer sneak up on enemy ships and blast them from 2 kilometers away in the Gato or any of the other American submarines or the German submarines that were very good at that. Now it's, well, mostly dummy firing them at range or using the homing torpedoes, which again, from 3 kilometers away, little rough. It's not as easy as you would expect. And add to the fact that we now have the ping indicator that now shows the direction that submarines are traveling. It's quite easy to pinpoint a submarine, especially when you have multiple ships all together. However, there is one sub that has managed to, for the most part, escape the difficulties of these changes. And it's the one you're watching right here on screen, the U-4501. Now, the 4501 is a pretty unique submarine because if you haven't noticed, he's currently going 36 knots underwater now, which is absolutely insane. I'm surprised they haven't really nerfed this thing just yet. In fact, it used to be faster than this, and this is the nerf speed from testing. Oh, there is the enemy submarine spotted right there. Now, the U-4501 is unique for a couple reasons in addition to the fact that she's just dummy fast. She's also incredibly small and frail. She only has 14,000 HP. And my god, EE-21, who's piloting the 4501 right now, just got spotted, and here comes the airstrikes. Now, keep in mind, submarines have a really small HP pool for their tier, and 14k is incredibly small at tier 10. And okay, he's just getting pounded now. See, look at that. That was one depth charge, took away half of his HP. A glancing blow from another one took away another about fourth of his HP. But it is fast. Now that he's underwater, if he can get in a straight line, he can go, again, 36 knots and escape the airstrikes that way. Gets double ping on the Preußen, who should have Hydra up, so he knows where these torpedoes are coming from, but does not pop his damage con. He needs 4 torpedoes for his problems. Now keep in mind, that was a double ping on his ship, so that did an increased amount of damage, because I do believe EE-21 is running that skill. So 4 torpedoes for 21k. That's another thing about the U-4501. Torpedoes don't really do that much damage per torp. So you got to really get a full salvo of torpedoes into the enemy ship to do a lot of damage. So let's see, that Preußen still not popping his damage con. And he's now stopped in the middle of the ocean. Okay. So another 3 torpedoes, another 6 torpedoes now, bringing EE-21's damage up to 68k. So you can see now he's using the speed of the U-4501 to disengage from the enemy ships and such. Pops out his hydrophone ping, or his ping, whatever you want to call it. Gives him a general-ish location of the Blau, the enemy sub on this flank. So now you might also notice that EE-21 is using his heal. I figured he's going to do that coming up to the surface. The 4501 does get a heal because of its small size and HP, but you can only use it at the surface. You cannot pop it underwater. So you got to be at the surface where you can only go 20 knots in order to use it, which of course makes you vulnerable to gunfire and such. And the full damage of ASW plays, which here comes the Preußen, but looks like it's pretty far off. The Schlieffen did clear the ping by using the damage con, but he's not maneuvering. He's just going into reverse, which, well, I mean, once you clear the ping, you got to do more than that. You got to maneuver your ship out of the direction of the torpedoes. He didn't do that, so now he gets 6 torpedoes to the face, bringing EE-21's damage up to 103,000 damage so far. Gets his 4 torpedoes out on the Schlieffen again. Now the Schlieffen does have the quick cooldown damage con, so if he pings him right now, he'll probably just clear it again. So it looks like he is holding his ping for when he gets a little bit closer. Enemy team's currently winning right now in terms of kills. They've only lost 2 destroyers to the friendly team's 3 destroyers and 2 battleships. It's another ping on the Schlieffen. So let's see if the Schlieffen is going to maneuver or if he's just going to hit reverse again. He's just reversing again. He's not maneuvering. I mean, he's got island in front of him. He can, turn around or something. He did clear the ping, but yep. 4 more torpedoes to the nose for another 18k. And that brings the Schlieffen down to 4,000 HP, but EE-21's up to 130,000 damage so far, which this is a lot of damage for a submarine, especially after the changes. Submarine damage dropped by, I think, on average 10 to like 15-ish%, depending upon the tier after the changes. And he's over here bringing 130,000 damage. I think the average damage for tier 10 subs is like 50k. At least according to Wargaming with the numbers that they removed, that they released. Not Wargaming, though, that fellow on Reddit that released it. Oh, yeah, so now half of the friendly team is dead with only 3 of the enemy destroyers being down. Now, granted, the enemy team has not capped any caps yet, but, I mean, they're going to be able to here in a second because literally half of the friendly team is dead. Looks like EE might be picking up a kill here with the Schlieffen that doesn't like to use his rudder. Seriously, Schlieffen is a very fast, very maneuverable battleship. I don't know why you wouldn't use your speed and maneuverability to avoid eating all of these torpedoes. So, yeah, he's dead. He's dead. There we go. Dead Schlieffen. That is EE's first kill of the match. Oh, Bilal from 2 kilometers away. Speaking of those submarine changes, now sub versus subcompact is just combat is incredibly awkward because, well, you can barely do any damage to them because if they're not outside of 3 kilometers, you're only doing like 10% of the torpedo's damage, which is a couple of 100 points of damage. But looks like the Bilal ran out of that 3 kilometer range because EE did tag him at like 2.5 kilometers. So there you go, takes out the enemy sub. So now with 2 kills on the board, he's still going after. He's probably going to dump someone that's Preußen, I would imagine, that's all the way in the back by himself. But looks like he's going for the Vermont that is touching their A cap, which is definitely what you want to do in a situation where, you have the points advantage, but not the ship advantage. You want to prevent the enemy team from getting those caps as much as you can. That way, hopefully, your cap advantage will make up for the fact that half of your team is dead. Now, Vermont is a very big ship. Very slow ship, though, but very big ship and has excellent torpedo protection. But we'll see if EE can pull it off here. So is that the Preußen's ASW plane? Yep. Thankfully, they are quite far off. But again, look how fast this ship is underwater. This boat, I should say. 30 knots and just haul and tail past that. It's so ridiculous. The ship originally, I think, went 42 knots submerged, which is just dumb. Ooh, Preußen takes out the Minotaur. Man. Oh, yep, there's the Preußen. Yeah, it's fun because a lot of players are complaining that, like, the other submarines are too fast on the water when most of them underwater can, like, maybe touch 20 knots. I think the Bilal can go 20 knots underwater, but I think most of them can only go, like, 18, 17 of the higher tier subs, right? Which is slower than, that tier's battleships. They're usually slower than same tier battleships, which and they're usually a lot slower than same tier battleships, which, yeah, they're not as fast, right? Mecklenburg takes out the GK. Man, it's a really close game. If the enemy team would have capped, it wouldn't be near this close, but it is really close. They're ahead by 4 points because they just keep sinking the friendly team. But Preußen, again, I guess he doesn't want to use his hydro or use his hydro for other things. Ooh, that's going to hurt, being at the surface right next to that depth charge. Yep. Ooh, he's down to 2,000 HP now. Oh, look, the dolphins are swimming next to his ship. How nice of them. So dang. Alright, so the enemy is finally deciding to cap the C cap, which has been uncontested this entire match. Kremlin does take out the Vermont. So now EE's got to go ahead and get on over to the other side of the map now. But yeah, the argument about speed and stuff never really stuck with me too much, besides, of course, like the 4501. And during testing, some of these submarines were kind of ridiculously fast. But, like, things in this game aren't really accurate, like speed and such. Your massive battleship that gets up to 32 knots in, like, 2 minutes doesn't happen like that in real life. That takes quite some time to build up the speed and momentum to get moving that fast. And your battleship and even your cruiser and your destroyer that stops on a dime, no, you need miles and miles to stop these ships in real life, especially again like battleships, which are these ships that weigh hundreds of thousands of tons, right? That doesn't stop within a kilometer. Like the Iowas could do it by turning their rudders inward, but it would damage the rudders quite badly, and it would only be used in emergency situations. And in fact, I don't think they ever used it outside of just trying it to see if it would happen, right? If it would work, I mean. So, yeah, your Yammies and your GKs and your Conquerors and your St. Vincent's and all this that just stop on a dime. Doesn't really work like that. But of course, it's the submarines that are going a little bit too fast that get people mad because it's the class that nobody likes. All right, Conqueror, 10 kilometers out, got his 4 forward torpedo tubes out on him. Probably going to pop his hill here in a second, if he remembers at least. Now, the trick with the 4501, which I think he's about to do here, and he's been doing during this entire match, is using those rear torpedo tubes, because you have 4 in the tubes in the front, but then you get another 6 in the back because German engineering, right? So here you go. Dump the 3 out from the left side, 3 out from side, 3 out from the right side, 3 out from the left side. Get another ping heading over to the Conqueror, eats 4 in the nose, and launches ASW at the ping. Let's see if he's going to be able to outmaneuver it here. Ooh, Conqueror and Mecklenburg. Oh, yeah, he's got it. Yeah, easily. Ooh, Sherman, though, is heading in this direction. That's not good. Conqueror, again, not maneuvering at all to deal with the torpedoes. Oof. Oh, E just got high caliber. I haven't seen that in a submarine. Now, granted, it is a Conqueror, so it doesn't really care too much about the damage, right? Because it does get the super heal, but it looks like his super heal is on cooldown at the moment, or he's just saving it for the right moment. By that I mean when he gets down to like 2,000 HP, because it's fun watching your health, basically get reprinted from nothing. Although I would expect if he had it right now, because he's facing a Kremlin, he would use it. Ooh, that Kremlin's only at 7,000 HP. All right, Conqueror is down, but I imagine that Kremlin's going to get taken down by the Mecklenburg. Or the Hakuru. Alright, that works too. 237,000 damage from EE so far. And the enemy team just did cap the B cap. Now it's him and a CV left. So we have 2 of the most hated classes in the game left to hopefully win this for the friendly side. Mecklenburg's getting his ASW out. Now, keep in mind, E only has 4k HP left, and that is it, ladies and gents. Well, Mecklenburg knows how to use his rudder. Dodges the torpedoes. At least the first set. Second salvo, yep, also misses as well. See what happens when you use the A and D key, fellas? Okay, pops his ping on the Mecklenburg again. His front torps are ready to go. But this is kind of close, 5 kilometers, 4 kilometers in closing. So I don't know if the torpedoes are going to really have time to do any damage. Because again, keep in mind, that's my Discord, not yours. Keep in mind, within 3 kilometers, they only do 10% of their damage. So I don't think those are going to do too much. But I don't know. We might get surprised. 2 minutes left on his battery. He did pop his emergency battery reserves. So he's got a little bit more time underwater. He is scooting out of the Mecklenburg's area as fast as he can. 32 knots already. Again, ridiculously fast little submarine here. Looks like there's torpedoes missed again. Again, Mecklenburg knows how to use his rudder. Yeah, battleships too. We have it kind of easy when it comes to submarine homing torps because we get that 2 kilometer range where the torpedoes no longer home. Destroyers and cruisers unfortunately don't get that because they're more maneuverable and faster classes, so it's a little rougher for them. So I'm wondering what his play here is. I think he's going to go try to cap the B cap, because they are still ahead on points. They have a 200 point advantage right now. So if he can cap the B cap and then the C cap, I mean, he's fast, right? So he can keep running back and forth between the caps and just capping them for his team. The only problem is the Hakuru is going to spot him, and while the Hakuru itself can't do much about him, of course the Mecklenburg and the other ships that have ASW can. But if you can get outside of their range, that'll also work. Fire some dummy guided torpedoes at the Mecklenburg. Oh, nope, it does pop his ping to get them homing in on the Mecklenburg. I think he's like right on the edge of the Mecklenburg's ASW range. Yeah, let's see. The Mecklenburg seems to be more. Ooh, that is close. That is. Oh ho ho ho. Oh, yeah. Nope. I think he's dead here. Dang. Yeah. Will those torpedoes hit though? Can he scrape some damage by? That was absolutely maximum effort there from EE. Oh, yep, does. Yep. 276,000 damage in a submarine. That is insane. That's gonna be close to a record. Dang. And keep in mind, this is with 44 torpedo hits. Oh my god. This is with the 4501, whose torpedoes, again, have very low individual damage. 2,000 base XP on a loss. Man. But yeah, maximum effort there from EE. I mean, I applaud you for your efforts, sir. I'm surprised you didn't get a dreadnought from that. Well, I guess it can't really heal enough to do that. But that, yeah, that's. Oh no, wait, he didn't survive. Duh, Sealord. He has to survive to get dreadnought from that. But yeah, U4501, goofy little submarine, still fairly strong, especially if you know how to play it right. Especially if you get a couple of ships that forget they have a rudder, right? But thank you for sending that in, E. Very close game there. Man, they went from winning that to having that in the bag to okay, we just need to make sure they don't get any caps to losing quick. So that was a good match. No one-sided. Wasn't one-sided. No one side had the advantage the entire time. Good old-fashioned close game. But thank you for sending that in, EE. Although again, I'm sure there will be many that do not appreciate the fact that you were piloting the cursed class, right? But anyway, if you have a replay like this that's got something interesting, close match, or again a feat like this, please send it into the email linked down below. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday, wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.